Time now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by Remington Rand, makers of the revolutionary new Remington Rolectric. Now let's all play What's My Line?
And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular columnist whose voice of Broadway appears in papers from coast to coast, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure and privilege to have with us tonight a distinguished actor who has just returned from Germany, where he made a picture I understand is marvelous, called Paths of Glory, Mr. Adolph Menjou.
Now it is my privilege to introduce one of the most beautiful actresses in the world, and a lady who has never worked with me, and I hope someday to get her, Miss Greer Garson.
Thank you, Adolph. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be on this most alarming panel, and it's my pleasure to introduce my honest bookie friend, one of America's favorite publishers, Mr. Bennett, Cerf.
I don't know whether we're on What's My Line or at the MGM commissary tonight. But Miss Garson, you spoke beautiful English in Goodbye, Mr. Chips and Mrs. Miniver. Now I want to introduce you to our panel moderator who speaks such beautiful English that half the time we don't know what on earth he's talking about. Mr. John Charles Daly.
Will the honest bookie and his colleagues please be seated? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to What's My Line. And panel, as a special treat for you, please put on your blindfolds. I must say that we are in debt to Mr. Menjou. As I told you last Sunday, we had anticipated that we would have together again one of the great acting teams of all time, with Walter Pidgeon here joining Miss Greer Garson. Mr. Pidgeon has laryngitis, unhappily, has had it all week. So we asked Mr. Menjou to brave the terrors of the panel, and without batting an eye, he said yes. Well, we'll see if we can put Mr. Menjou and his fellow panel members through the hoops tonight. We'll have a good go at it with some interesting occupations. We'll also have a famous mystery guest before the panel a little bit later in the show. We'll meet our first challenger in just 1 minute. Panel, are those blindfolds all in place?
Yes, John.
Yes, good. Will our first contestant please come in and sign in? I would ask you, first of all, if you're familiar with the way we keep score on this program.
I believe so.
Fine. In that event, let's let everybody here and there, except the panel, know exactly what your line is. Panel, I'm sure you don't need to be told that there is an area of identification here that has required we ask you to blindfold yourselves. It can be a matter of identification of signature or some degree of costuming or just general appearance. We will give you some help, however. Our contestant is salaried, and we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett, Cerf.
Was I correct in detecting a lady's voice answering John when he asked if you knew the game?
Yes, that's right.
Have you got the kind of figure that would make any middle-aged man wish he was about 20 years younger?
Well, I suppose,
Yes.
Have you ever exhibited same in some entertainment medium?
more or less, yes.
More or less, yes. Have you ever been in a motion picture?
No.
One down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Have you ever met anyone on this panel personally?
No, I haven't.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Menjou.
Are you in the entertainment field?
Yes, sir.
Are you in the theater?
Yes.
Are you a showgirl?
Yes.
Are you a Ziegfeld showgirl? What happened?
What happened, Adolph, is you got it all right. You may take off your mask. Ziegfeld Show Girls is the right answer. Actually, sitting next to me is Miss Barbara Hall. I would introduce the rest of the young ladies, if I may. Haven't had a chance to meet you all myself. Roberta Brown, Miss Roberta, Mickey Miller, Ann Drake, Miss Ann is a redhead, Nancy Westbrook, Charlotte Foley, Denise Collette, and Gloria Christie. Well, I can only apologize for all of us on What's My Line. We shouldn't have asked Adolph Menjou to come here. That's all there is to it. We do thank you.
One of the ladies answered my question when I asked about
Miss Barbara Hall has been spokesman for all of the young ladies.
You answered correctly.
Answered correctly, is right. Well, our thanks to you for coming. We're sorry we didn't give them a tougher run. And I must say that, just speaking for all the rest of the men on the panel, Menjou's going to answer to me for this. I was hoping you'd be around a good deal longer. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see you. All right, panel, a very good beginning, I must admit it. Let's see what you can do with the second challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? Chuck? Chuck Wendell, is that right? Mr. Wendell, where are you from?
From Maquoketa, Iowa.
I beg your pardon, sir?
Maquoketa, Iowa.
Maquoketa, Iowa?
Right.
What is that near?
That's near Davenport, Iowa.
Oh, yes, I know that part of the state. Well, it's nice to have you with us. Mr. Wendell, the panel, will you come over here now and join me, please? Are you familiar with our scoring system?
I think so.
Fine, then let's let everybody at home and those who've been nice enough to come to the theater know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, Mr. Wendell is self-employed, and we begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Well, it's a little out of season for Santa Claus, so we'll skip that. Do you deal in services, Mr. Wendell?
Yes.
Could both men and women avail themselves of your services?
Yes.
Could anyone on the panel enjoy your services?
Yes.
Do you come face to face with people when you do what you do?
Yes.
Well,
Actually, we don't want to mislead you, Dorothy. Are
I
you
know,
speaking
John.
in terms of a confrontation or merely an appearance before people or with people?
Well, he doesn't do it over the telephone.
Oh, fine. Then you're... No, I'd have trouble on the telephone.
Well, do you ever touch the people that you deal with?
Oh, no.
No, I wouldn't think so. 1 down, 9 to go, Mr. Menjou.
Do you improve the health of the people that you confront?
No, I don't think so. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Garson.
Well, is your service to do with any kind of recreational, educational?
Recreation or educational?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Do people feel happier after they have received your services?
Well, at times.
Do they come to you for these services?
Yes.
Or do you visit them? I mean, they come to you. Do you extend these services, offer these services mainly indoors rather than out of doors?
No. That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Wendell, I must say, I admire your nerve coming on a Remington Rand shave program.
I thought about that today.
Mr. Wendell, I didn't mean to be personal. No. Have you grown that beard for commercial reasons?
Oh, I wouldn't
You don't use it in your... It's not a necessary adjunct to your...
let's give him a no on that.
Yeah, let's give him a no. I think we give you a no on that, Bennett. It has not been grown for commercial reasons. That's 4 down and 6 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
But you must admit it makes you more interesting.
Well, thank you.
Because you look as though you would be one, may I assume that you are not a prospector? Do you talk to people when they come to you?
Well, he has the naturally gregarious nature of the American male. Are you specifically questioning to the point as to whether conversation is necessary to the performance of the service?
I don't want to be specific enough to get a no.
Well, just generally, I mean, is the inquiry
does he
as to
ever
whether...
talk in the presence of the people who come for his service?
As a part of the service, you mean?
Not necessarily, just does he ever talk?
Yeah, he's been known to talk sometimes.
Well, do you do anything creative? He doesn't touch them and he doesn't
5
talk
down
to them.
and 5 to go, Mr. Menjou.
Have you studied at all for the service which you give? Have you had to study to go to school?
No.
No. 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Gus.
People come to you and it's out of doors and it's a service that's kind of recreational. Makes them feel happier, you hope.
Meditation.
Oh, my goodness, I knew about meditation. It's not a collar salesman, obviously. And
Miss Garson said you were not a collar salesman, obviously.
they come to you out of doors. Is this a seasonal service, more one time of the year than another?
Yes, I think we would have to admit that in any specific geographical locale, it could be described as having a seasonal flavor.
Well, is this service available mainly in one part of the country where Mr. Wendell is, in Iowa? Is this a general, yes, is it a kind of individual service?
Available in Iowa more than elsewhere, you mean?
Yes.
That gives you a no. That's 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Cerf.
Mr. Wendell, do you have anything to do with farming?
No.
No. That's 8 down and 2 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Now, you have said that what you do is recreational or educational. It is not both.
No, the question as asked was, does it have a recreational or educational? To that question, we gave an affirmative answer without meaning to specify that there was a definition as between the two terms.
That's right, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Well, would you say that it was would you say that this was a luxury service rather than a necessity of life?
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of a fun thing. If I went to you, it would be because I hope that it would be kind of fun.
Well, so too.
And you wouldn't talk to me? You wouldn't talk to me. Would you show me anything?
No, I think we'd have to give you a no in the context of the question as it was asked, Dorothy. That makes it 9 down and 1 to go, Mr. Menjou.
Does the service you render have anything to do with the body?
No.
No, I should say not. 10 down and no more to go. And Mr. Wendell drives trotting racehorses.
Trotters and
Trotters. All right. Mr. Wendell drives trotters and pacers both, and I imagine you're east because your season's opening here. Is that it?
Well, our season really opens June the 2nd at Maquoketa, Iowa. We have 10 heats of racing on that day, June the 2nd. It's on a Sunday afternoon. That's when then we race in Iowa and Illinois and Michigan and different places. And I just tell people they've never lived till they've driven a racehorse. I love it.
We'll live.
It's been wonderful having you as a guest,
Nice
and
meeting
thanks
you.
very much. It was good to stick to time. In just a moment, we'll meet tonight's Miss Now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which I have to ask my friends on the panel to blindfold themselves once again. Blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please? Panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery challenger, we go to a different form of questioning. You will ask one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise, and we'll begin with Miss Greer Garson.
You are obviously in the public eye. Isn't that so?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Are you female? By that, are you...
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you an actor?
Yes.
Mr. Menjou?
Are you a comedian?
No.
Do you fall into the category of the handsome, romantic leading man type?
No.
That makes it 2 down and 8 to go.
Are you a character actor?
Yes.
May I ask a question of John?
Yeah.
Is this person speaking with his own voice?
Yes?
There's no stooge involved.
No?
Please. Do you act in motion pictures and the stage both?
No.
That makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Menjou.
Oh, dear. I pass.
You pass, Mr. Menjou?
I pass.
Miss Garson?
Have you appeared on television?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Was it movies that you did rather than stage work? Or do, pardon me?
Yes.
Miss Kilgallen?
Were you in silent pictures?
Yes.
Mr. Menjou?
Do you wear a beard?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Garson.
Were you born in this country?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Well, if you played in silent pictures, does that mean that you're a rather elderly character actor? Well, past middle age, anyway.
Yes.
Miss Kilgallen?
Has your life story ever been done in the movies?
No.
That makes it 5 down and 5 to go, Mr. Menjou.
Do you specialize in Western pictures?
No.
I think it's only fair to say that our guest has appeared in Western pictures, but would not necessarily be described as concentrating on them. Miss Garson?
Your appearances in television now, have they been as guest star appearances? I mean, occasional spots? As opposed to a regular, solid, sustaining program or regular series or anything like that?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
Have you ever won an Oscar?
Yes.
Have you ever appeared in a picture with Elizabeth Taylor?
You ever appeared in a picture with Elizabeth Taylor?
No.
That makes it 7 down and 3 to go, Mr. Menjou.
Do you sing?
No.
8 down and 2 to go, Miss Garson.
The first letter of your second name, is it in the first 10 letters of the alphabet?
Yes.
Mr. Cerf?
What was that again, Greer?
Is the first letter of your second name in the first 10 letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E?
J.
J.
A to J.
It's made in J.
It's a great help to
Have you ever had a nickname of Gabby?
Oh, no.
9 down and 1 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
But it's just useless. May we have a conference?
You may have...
Has anyone the slightest glimmer? Because I haven't. This must be the greatest voice disguise in years.
It is.
All right, I'll pass.
Mr. Menjou.
Is your name Walter Brennan?
I thought...
But very happy to making Japanese jingle one never get Oh, son of a gun.
Now, I must add only one thing. I thought Bennett had it when he asked the Oscar question, because Walter's not had one, he's had 3 Oscars.
I was just stalling for time.
Oh, my. Well, golly day, it was wonderful for you to come and see us.
It's wonderful to be here, Mr. Daly. I watch your show every Sunday night. It's one of my musts.
Ah, well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. You've been a must of mine for a long, long time.
Thank you.
And nice to know we're going to be on the same network. But I don't know. You're good serious. All righty, panel, we can move very quickly. Let's see what you can do with the final challenger. Will you come in and sign in, please? Ruth? Ruth Schaefer, is that right? Is it Ruth or Mrs.? It's Mrs. Schaefer, panel, and where are you from?
Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Bloomfield, New Jersey. Will you come over here with me, please? Do you know how we keep score?
Yes, I do.
Fine. Let's let everybody at home and those here with us know exactly what your line is. All right. Panel, we have approximately 2.5 minutes. Mrs. Schaefer is self-employed, and we'll begin the general questioning with Ralph Menjou.
Self-employed. Are you involved with a product of any kind?
Yes.
Would men and women both buy it?
Yes.
Is it something good to eat?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Miss Garson.
Is it usually found in the average home? No.
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cerf.
In other words, Miss Schaefer, is it Miss Schaefer?
Mrs.
Mrs. Schaefer. It would not be available in a general department store, is that correct?
Yes, it could be found at a department store.
It could be found, yes. in a
But
department.
not likely to be.
It would be a big department store, I'd
Yes.
say. I'll put that. So you get a yes and no on
This
that.
is
then.
a rather large product, then, is that right?
Yes.
Are there any mechanical parts in this product?
No.
Small.
Difference of opinion.
It's a tricky question. I'm going to give you a yes on it because we use such broad terminology on the show, Bennett.
Could this product be used for any kind of transportation purposes?
No.
Transportation, that makes it 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Is it useful?
Yes.
Is it bigger than a bread box?
Yes.
Is it smaller than a telephone booth?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Could you sit on it or in it?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes.
Could 2 people sit on it or in it?
No.
No, that makes it 4 down and 6 to go. Mr. Menjou, time for about 1 question.
Does it make the user happier?
Yes.
Does it improve the health?
Yes.
It can. Actually, I think you're doing so well. We have to give up because we run out of time.
It must
but
be
you're...
a Slenderella machine or one of those
It's the same kind of thing, Miss
Stop
Greer.
it,
By
Slenderella.
golly, it's a
Exerciser.
steam cabinet for reducing. That's what Mrs. Schaefer makes. And it's all done for the Battle Creek Equipment Company. So thank you very much, Mrs. Schaefer. It's nice to have you. Sorry that we couldn't have a little more time. And now, until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
Good night, John. Good night, Adolph. Nice to have you.
Good night, Greer. Pleasure to see you again.
Good night, Adolph. And good night, Bennett.
If Arlene is watching, Good night, John.
Good night, Bennett. And Miss Garson and Adolph Menjou, thank you very much for being on the panel, and I think you did magnificently. Look at the record. That's all you have to do. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us on What's My Line?
Transportation for What's My Line was arranged by American Airlines. Guests are flown to New York aboard America's famous luxury flight, the DC-7 Mercury. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network. Be sure to see Remington Rand's other great television program, Gunsmoke, Saturday night on this same network.